Stop storing cheese in plastic bags immediately if you don't want to risk your health. Wrapping cheese in plastic bags or plastic wrap is not an ideal way to store it. In fact, it can quietly damage the cheese, and if we don't realize it and eat it anyway, it may affect our health. So in today's video, I'll show you a few proper ways to store all types of cheese, from hard cheeses to soft cheeses, semi-soft cheeses, and even shredded cheese safely, so they stay fresh longer and keep their full flavor. Cheese is a living food. Even after it's been made, it continues to age, slowly releasing a natural gas called ammonia and taking in small amounts of oxygen to develop its flavor and texture. When cheese is wrapped in plastic bags or plastic wrap, this natural process is blocked. Air can't circulate, moisture builds up, and that ammonia gets trapped inside. That's why plastic wrapped cheese often smells sharp and unpleasant and spoils much faster than it should. Over time, that damp environment becomes the perfect breeding ground for mold and slowly destroys the cheese's natural flavor. Second, storage temperature is also very important. Normally, if you keep cheese in the freezer, it will become dry and crumbly. And if you store it in a warmer section, it will spoil even faster. In particular, the humidity inside these compartments can change a great deal, often shifting between very dry and very damp. That's why controlling both temperature and humidity is essential for preserving the texture, flavor, and overall quality of cheese. Method 1. Storing with parchment paper and a paper bag. This method is suitable for hard cheeses such as Parmesan, aged Gouda, and aged cheddar with a strong flavor. You only need to prepare a piece of parchment paper that is slightly larger than the piece of cheese. Next, place the cheese in the center and fold the paper around it. Just wrap it loosely, without making it too tight. Those folds and small gaps act like tiny vents, allowing the natural ammonia released by the cheese to escape while letting fresh oxygen circulate. To better protect the cheese, simply place the parchment-wrapped cheese into a breathable paper bag, the kind used for food or produce. This outer layer works like a gentle shield, blocking cold air currents without trapping moisture. Then fold the top of the bag and store it in the refrigerator's vegetable drawer. This method helps maintain an ideal humidity level of about 75%, keeping the cheese from becoming rock hard on the outside or moldy on the inside. When stored this way, your cheese can last 1 to 2 months for convenient use. Method 2. Soak in a diluted salt water. If you're using semi-soft mozzarella like the one in this package and don't finish it all at once, storing it the right way is very important. Once the vacuum-sealed bag is opened, mozzarella loses its original protection and can dry out, spoil, or grow bacteria much faster if it's stored incorrectly. One important thing to note is that this is a fresh cheese, so you should consume it as soon as possible after opening the package, and you should not store it in the freezer, because ice crystals can damage the protein structure of the cheese. The safest and most effective method is to store mozzarella in light salt water. Start by placing the remaining cheese into a clean, airtight container made of glass or food-safe plastic. Next, mix 1 cup of cold water with half a teaspoon of salt, just enough to create a mild brine. Pour the brine over the cheese until it is fully submerged. Seal the container tightly and place it in the refrigerator, preferably in the vegetable drawer. This helps maintain a steady temperature and moisture. Change the salt water every 1 to 2 days to keep the cheese fresh. Stored this way, opened mozzarella stays fresh, soft, and safe to eat for about 3 to 5 days, without losing its texture or flavor. Method 3. Storing with olive oil. Soft cheeses such as goat cheese, brie, and camembert need to be stored more carefully because of their high moisture content and delicate structure. For soft cheeses like brie and camembert, the goal is to protect them without suffocating them. After opening, loosely wrap the cheese in parchment paper to allow gentle airflow. Then place it in a small container or a breathable cheese box. Store it in the refrigerator, where the temperature is more stable. Check the cheese every few days and rewrap it if the paper becomes damp. Goat cheese needs a slightly different storage method. If it's fresh, crumbly goat cheese, the best approach is to place it in a small, airtight container. To keep it fresh for longer, you can brush a thin layer of olive oil over the surface. Extra virgin olive oil contains natural phenolic compounds that have mild antibacterial properties. At the same time, it helps maintain stable moisture, keeping the cheese soft and smooth, preventing it from drying out or cracking on the surface, slowing bacterial growth, and can even enhance the flavor. Then close the lid and place it in the refrigerator's fresh food compartment. No matter the type, always use clean utensils when handling soft cheese and keep the container tightly closed. When stored properly, most soft cheeses will stay fresh for several days without losing their natural flavor or texture. Method 4. Storing in an airtight container. Shredded cheese needs to be stored a little differently from cheese blocks or soft cheeses because it has much more surface exposed to air. One simple and effective method is to use parchment paper inside a sealed container. Start by lining the bottom of a clean, airtight container with a sheet of parchment paper. This layer helps absorb excess moisture without drying the cheese out. Next, add the shredded cheese and spread it out loosely, without pressing it down. Then place another sheet of parchment paper gently over the top of the cheese. This top layer protects the cheese from condensation that can form inside the container while still allowing it to stay dry and fresh. Close the lid tightly and store the container in the refrigerator. When kept in the fridge this way, shredded cheese stays fresh, loose, and flavorful for about 7 to 10 days. If you want to store it longer, this same method works well for freezing too. Simply place the sealed container in the freezer. In the freezer, shredded cheese can be kept for 2 to 3 months. When you're ready to use it, you can sprinkle it directly onto hot dishes without thawing. This method helps prevent clumping, off smells, and wasted cheese, making it very practical for everyday cooking. So now you know 4 ways to store hard cheese, soft cheese, semi-soft cheese, and shredded cheese, helping them stay fresh longer and handling each type properly. These simple habits help protect flavor, texture, and your family's health. I hope today's tips make your kitchen routine easier and give you more confidence. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with fellow cheese lovers, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more practical cooking tips. Thank you for watching.